All right, YouTube. This Detroit's HPTV coming back to you on this Wednesday morning, November 6th, back with another video. If you've seen my video from earlier this morning when I was reporting on the Trump victory too big to win, I gave out a list of people that we were interested in talking to today. Barack Obama, Michelle Obama, Roland Martin, Ricky Smiley, Joy Reid, Van Jones, Lisa Ray, Angela Reese, Oprah Winfrey, Spike Lee, Magic Johnson, Steve Harvey, Al Sharpton, and the entire Divine Nine. We've been waiting on them to post, but the video I want to show you first is Al Sharpton the day after. Now we know that Al Sharpton has been the race baiter in chief for a while, allegedly, but he definitely seems to be a chief Democratic operative, even at the expense of his own people. So, my message to the Democratic Party today is your party is over. We're never coming back to vote blue. We're never coming back to the Democratic plantation. So, I don't see you being able to be in power anytime in the near future. You played in black people's face one too many times, and we can't afford you. The Democratic Party has been a burden on the backs of black Americans since slavery. They're the Dixiecrats, the founders of the Ku Klux Klan, Jim Crow. They played in your face. They played one too many times because what they did was they started threatening black men, using scare tactics for black men, using black women to disrespect black men. They came at us like we really were the ones actually scared of Trump. You mean the Trump that used to hang with Mike Tyson? You mean the Trump that used to take pictures with Muhammad Ali? Oh, the Trump that gave money to Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton. Oh no, the Trump that pardoned Kodak Black, Angela Stanton, and Kwame Kilpatrick. They thought we were scared of that Trump. Underestimated. Underestimated. You can't read the room. But as I've said, the Democratic Party has been a burden on the backs of black Americans since slavery. And we're finally done with you. No matter what black people say, everyone in the black community feels a little bit freer. They told you Trump was a fascist and you was going to feel some type of way if he won. Most of the black people I'm running into feel freer from their separation from the Democratic Party and those people that just lied and fearmongered you. But today, let's see how they're talking today. This for fair use under the 1976 Copyright Act, the Education Commentary, stand on the First Amendment and the protections thereof. Let's check out Reverend Al.
Bringing to the conversation the president of the National Action Network, the host of MSNBC's Politics Nation, the Reverend Al Sharpton. Rev, good morning. I know you were with the Harris campaign last night. Obviously, as the night went on, things became more and more grim for them, ending with shock probably this morning as this race was called for Donald Trump.
No, probably shock would be the word for many that were at the Howard University party, and then disbelief. I think also what we've got to deal with, you're correct when you say the economy was weighed on a lot of the voters around the country, and a distorted view of the economy. Let's remember, Donald Trump is a expert promoter, and he was able to get a lot of myths.
Wait a minute. This is a whole different conversation because weren't these people saying he was a fascist, a Nazi, a threat to democracy? But now they're saying, oh, he's a shrewd businessman. And man, I'm glad we starting with Al Sharpton first. Cause the rest of the Shields and Boulay that come out later, we're gonna try to see if they singing the same tune or have they changed like this one here, like the race battle.
Across the table that really were not true, but it was not well promoted on the other side. I think that we also have to deal with the issue of race and gender. There was a lot of gender bias in this. There was a lot of race bias in this. And I think that we thought a lot of voters were more progressive in those areas than they were. When you have the Dobbs decision.
If you thought that we were going to let you reassign the gender of our children, leave the border open, put tampons in the boys' bathroom, and terminate pregnancies all the way up to the 8th month, if you thought we was going to let you do that, of course you misread the room, Al. One too many times, though.
And you see this kind of vote anyway with the person that put the 3 justices on the Supreme Court. You have to ask yourself, are we fooling ourselves saying that Americans are further down the road toward dealing with gender bias and race bias than we thought? So I would say this, though. Donald Trump, I've known a long time, he will self-destruct. The problem that I see is not Trump. The problem is that those that can be appealed to in this way and how we've got to bring this country together. And we cannot do it by being like January 6th ourselves. There would not be a January 6th on our side. We will deal with this in a dignified way and try to put the pieces together. So we've lost, but
deal with it like any other loser and go away. And you lost the Senate. I think have to find out later, but your party's over. Nobody's coming back. Black men and black women have left. There's nobody over there now but you bootlegs, boule sellouts. And y'all are the ones that's going to feed off each other and self-destruct. We might, as black Americans, we might start our own party. We ain't never got to go back to the Democratic Party. We can start our own party. Didn't y'all say this was a democracy? Come on.
We lost a battle. The war is not over.
Well, Rev, let's talk about, you talked about gender and race. Let's talk about race. Donald Trump fared very well with Hispanic voters, especially Hispanic men. The numbers are coming in still a little early, but I think he did better with black men than was expected in the past. What do you think pushed that, especially with the Hispanic voters going for Donald Trump as much as they did? Because that made a big difference.
I think that a lot of it was he was able to sell a lot of Hispanic voters that immigration was a threat to them, that some of the people coming across the border was a threat to them. I think that we've got to...
You see how he's denigrating the Hispanic voters? He's saying that they voted for Trump because he's made them think that there was some type of existential threat to them, as if they couldn't vote in their own interests. They couldn't vote for jobs. See, this is why the Democratic Party is through. What you're seeing right now is what they call before the funeral, I don't know, viewing the body. They know they through.
Be honest, among Hispanic men and black men, there's a lot of misogyny. And I think that we've got to deal with the reality that he appealed to this whole false macho thing.
This Negro is going to insult us to the very end. Ain't y'all so glad that we voted his candidate out? Ain't y'all so glad that the Democrats lost? He's going out kicking and screaming, still insulting us, saying we misogynistic, and that's why we didn't support the Hindu lady, right?
That some black men and some Latino men went for. I think that we cannot sit around just bedwetting. We've got to deal with the reality, and we've got to deal with the situation as it is in our own communities.
Well, bedwetting gets you, political bedwetting gets you exactly this. You don't want to do that. At some point, Democrats are going to have to confront some realities that they haven't wanted to confront in the past. They didn't want to confront the past issues on the border. It took them too long to confront that. We talked about a transgender inmate ad that ran 30,000 times that the Democrats refused to respond to, despite the fact it was Donald Trump's own policy, because I guess some people in the campaign, and we talked about this before, thought it might be, maybe they were too woke to actually respond to a false ad. And maybe they were afraid that they would be attacked by their own base. There are so many questions for the Democrats to answer. But one of them, the one that's that I just saw that's going to be staring them in the face for some time if they don't do something about it, is that 45% of Hispanics voted for Donald Trump.
45.
That is George W. Bush. I remember when George W. Bush got 44% of the vote in 2004. It sent shockwaves. Yeah. This also, if you look at this, if you look at younger voters, you look at all these different, we've all been talking about a new Republican Party. There needs to be a new Republican Party. This morning, this is about as bleak as any time for Democrats since the so-called 1984 San Francisco Democrats. It's time for the Democrats to take a good, long, hard look at how this happened. And if they just say Trump's bad,
I will end on that note. It seems that he, at the end, got a little bit more sense than Reverend Al. Sorry to say, but the Democratic Party, you're finished. You could change the name to the party inclusion, DIA, and women and whatever. At this point, we just looking for content. So somebody found out where D.L. Hughley, Roland Martin, especially Joy Reid. We did some on her today. Found out where these shields is that made the Democratic Party think that they could influence and shame us into voting for that laughing, cackling lunatic of a lady. Well, this is Detroit's HPTV sign to our Detroit. Support the nonprofit, Detroit's Black Thought and Act Collective. The Cash App is in the description. As always, salute to all patriots. Keep your head on the swivel. Peace.